Dumb Husky and His White Cat Shizun is a BL novel. This is an audiobook made by fans for other fans. Disclaimer: descriptive violence and triggers for sensitive content. If you don't like it, don't listen. Thank you. Remember, subscribe and click the bell to stay updated on all the new releases. Enjoy. Chapter 39. This venerable one's new weapon. After entering the cave, there was a narrow passageway. They stepped on the slippery stone steps at the bottom of the lake, the slippery feeling spreading from the soles of their feet all the way to their hearts. After walking through this part of the road, there was light in front of their eyes. The Jibaihua storehouse that Ch39 called small and messy was completely different from the size it should be. This ancient tree was extremely vast. Who would have thought that the heavenly abode inside was even higher than the heavens, looking down on no land, the racks lingering high up, tens of thousands of soldiers solemnly laid out. Everyone looked up but could not see the dome. The rows of racks with the world's most powerful weapons could be said to be extremely imposing and majestic. In the middle of the storehouse, there was a smelting pool that was seething with heat waves, flowing with orange molten iron, and weapons that had yet to be forged were being refined in it. The weapons made by Ch39 were all superior to the purple lightning and blue frost. The terrifying temperature was unable to damage them in the slightest, but instead caused the blades to become even more dazzling, as dragon light shone. The most amazing thing was that the null divisions that were flying around in the air were all affected by the formations in the ancient tree, and could move around on their own. The tiny flower pieces, the jewels embedded in them, were like spirits, dancing in the air with creaking sounds, occasionally colliding with each other, creating sparkling sparks that were pleasing to the ear. Ch39 turned around and smiled. This place is a little small, right? Small. Then what is big? I have something to say. I don't know if I should say it or not. Ch39 ordered Xue Meng and Shi Mei to choose from among them, and if there were any weapons that they liked, they could just take one with them. As for Mo Ran, Chen was quite interested in him, and had given him several weapons, but none of them were satisfactory. Phoenix Cry Scorched Tail. Handing over the 14th weapon, Ch39 was not discouraged. Let's try this. Mo Ran, this. I don't understand music. It's fine, just a few strokes will do. Mo Ran did as he was told, and played a few strokes on the ancient zither with a shiny front and a charred tail. Who would have thought that the zither's strings would not stop vibrating, and it would turn into a sharp tone? Ch39 immediately tossed Feng Ming to one side, and Fa Mantra carried the zither back to its original position, and switched to a jade pipa. Mo Ran. Let's forget about this. He was a grown man, why would he play the pipa? Only those pretty boys in Kunlun's snow-treading palace would do such a thing. Ch39 insisted, let's try it. All right. Mo Ran could not resist, and could only take it, and did as he was told. But he seemed to be a little angry, and after playing a few strokes, he actually broke the string. Ch39 stared at the broken string, and said for a long time, do you know what the string is made of? Mo Ran. You're not asking me to pay for it, are you? The white hair of the goddess of Mount Wu, Ch39 muttered, the sword cleaves incessantly, the fire incessantly burns, it's the essence of the earth. You actually. You. Mo Ran turned around and exclaimed in fear, Shizun. I don't have the money to compensate him. Ch39 picked up the string, and muttered to himself, wood conquers earth, you can destroy the essence of the earth. Could it be that the most suitable weapon for you is the essence of the wood? What? It shouldn't be. For some reason, Go Chen Shanggong glanced at Chu Wanning. Chu Wanning caught his gaze, and asked, what shouldn't be? Go Chen Shanggong did not answer immediately, but waved his hand, and summoned the ocarina, and slowly blew it. As the sound of the ocarina died down, a blood-red summoning array suddenly split open in the sky. Jibaihua, come out. Amoran raised his head, and Shuemeng and Shimei were also attracted by the commotion. Gochen Shanggong's fingertips were focused in the air, and he activated the complicated array at the top of the sky. Immediately after, a fox immortal with a fluffy tail unfurled, broke out of the array, and silver powder rustled in the air. The fox immortal circled around in the air, and slowly landed in front of Amoran. This fox immortal was extremely good looking, and when they got closer, they realized that it was a man. His forehead was red, and his peach blossom eyes were slightly raised. He was wearing a luxurious brocade robe, and he held a golden brocade box in his hand. He glanced at Go Chen Shanggong, and said with a smile, "Exalted deity." Go Chen said, "You should have sensed why I called you, right?" This subordinate understands. Go Chen asked, "What do you think?" Jibaihua said with a smile, "Not bad, we can give it a try." These two fellows answered and did not put the other four in their eyes at all. Amoran could not help but ask, "What are you guys talking about?" "Eh? Little immortal lord, you can't wait?" "Who immortal?" Jibaihua said brightly, "speaking of which, it's interesting. Before I showed myself, I could sense your spiritual power from afar. I thought you were at least an old man with white hair and beard, but I didn't expect you to be a handsome young man." Go Chen Shanggong said, "Jibaihua, you can talk about serious matters first." "All right, I was just joking." Jibaihua squinted her eyes, and her furry tail swayed. "What serious matters are you talking about?" "Aya Xiaogo, don't stare at me like that, this is really a long story." Amoran laughed, "Can you make it short?" Jibaihua also smiled and said, all right. If it's short, it's actually very short." He circulated his spiritual power, and the brocade box in his hand floated in front of Amoran. "Come, take it." Indeed, it was concise and comprehensive. Amoran took the brocade box and flipped it in his hand. The brocade box shone with dazzling golden light, and it was unknown what kind of jinmu was inside. However, this box did not have any openings, and the only decoration was a yin and yang fish pattern on the surface of the box. One black and one white, two koi with their tails together, formed the shape of the 8 trigrams. "How do I open this?" Jibaihua said, "He, the way to open it is from my mouth, and into your ears. No one else is allowed to hear it." Shuemeng asked, "Do you mean that we should avoid it?" Jibaihua said with a smile, "There is no need for you to avoid it. I just want to offend this little immortal lord." With that, he waved his hand, and Amoran's vision suddenly darkened. Unknowingly, the two of them were already in a small secret room. "Little immortal lord, there is no need to be nervous. This is the space teleportation technique that I specialize in. The brocade box containing the weapon is a magic treasure that I have created in secret. Therefore, I cannot tell you the way to open it in front of everyone. Please don't be offended." Amoran said with a smile, "It's fine. However, I would like to ask, what kind of weapon is inside that needs to be stored in a brocade box?" "I can't tell you that." Jibaihua said, "Jinmu are temperamental. This weapon does not want others to know its appearance easily. If you provoke it, even if you open the box in the end, it will still not recognize you as its owner. Amoran was speechless for a moment, and could only smile bitterly. What kind of weapon? It has such a strange temperament. All right, just tell me, how do I open this box? Seeing that he did not force the issue, Jibaihua had a better impression of him. He clapped his hands and said with a smile, "Little immortal lord, since you are straightforward, then I will not be vague. This box is called the longing yearning. As you have seen, it is seamless. If you want to open it, you must fulfill two conditions." Amoran said, "I would like to hear the details." Jibaihua said, "My Fox Immortal clan believes in true love the most. Therefore, first, in this world, only one person can open the longing yearning. This person is extremely important in your life. You must love this person deeply, and this person must also be devoted to you and be loyal to you." Amoran said with a smile, "I see. What a strange request, but this is not difficult." He still believed in his friendship with Shimei. Hearing this, Jibaihua's lips curled up slightly. How is it not difficult? Since ancient times, people's hearts are the most difficult to fathom. What you think is not necessarily true. I have been in this world for a long time, and have seen too many people lose their minds, not knowing who the person they love is. In these tens of millions of years, the number of people who have been able to open the longing yearning are few and far between. Amoran asked curiously, "Why is that?" "Even if you get the wrong person, you can continue searching. At worst, you can try all the people you know one by one. You should be able to find the so-called most important person in your life, right?" Jibaihua said, "This is the second condition that I want to say. Other than you, the longing yearning can only be touched by one person. That is to say, you only have one chance. If you find the wrong person to open it, it will be closed forever, and no one will be able to obtain the item in the box." Amoran said with a smile, "No wonder you want to separate the others. If they hear you, it will be difficult for me to deal with it. If I hold the box and look for someone to see it, they will know who I like. How embarrassing would that be?" He paused for a moment, fiddling with the brocade box in his hand, then continued, "But this little toy of yours is really interesting. It turns out that this is a keyhole that can only be used once. If you open it incorrectly, the box will be useless. Naturally, it can only be used once. Otherwise, how many more times do you want to open it?" Jibaihua glared at him. "You mortals have been playing in the mortal world for decades, how many times have you let down without realizing it? You must know that deep love in this world is like the longing yearning. If you make a wrong choice, it will be difficult to turn back. Haha, don't worry, great immortal who. Others may make a wrong choice, but I know it very well." Amoran clasped his hands together and bowed to him, then laughed, "I will not let down this yearning." Jibaihua glanced at him. His voice was low and mellow, extremely elegant and pleasant to listen to. "Little immortal lord, don't be too confident. I see that you don't know the guest of Mount Wu, you don't know the person of destiny." Amoran was taken aback, his smile still frozen on his face. "What do you mean?" This handsome immortal who claimed to be the one who believed in true love the most did not want to say anything more, he only sighed faintly. "The longing yearning without an order, breaks the willow branch." Sigh. Amoran was not cultured, so he did not understand what the immortal who immortal was saying. However, he felt that the immortal who immortal was trying to remind him of something in a roundabout way. It was a pity that his brain was stupid, he could not think of anything even after racking his brains. Just as he was about to ask again, Jibaihua smiled faintly, saying that his mission had been accomplished. He waved his sleeves and sent Emoran out of the secret room. Suddenly, he froze, becoming stiff, and with a crash, he broke into pieces, leaving only a jet black chess piece on the ground where he had been standing. It was a pity that Emoran did not see this. If he had, many things at the bottom of the lake would have changed. When Emoran regained his senses, he realized that he had already returned to Jinmu's storeroom, holding the longing yearning in his hands. The other 4 people were waiting for him in Jinmu's storeroom. Seeing that he had returned, Go Chen Shanggong grinned, his lips curled into a smile as he said, "That little fox is really interesting, opening a box in such a mysterious manner. How is it, do you know how to open it?" At this juncture, he had no choice but to ponder deeply. Emoran thought about it and smiled, "That's easy, it's very easy." He seemed to casually walk over to Shimei's side, "This lock's design is exquisite and interesting, I don't think you'll be able to figure it out even if you study it for 8 to 10 years. Come take a look if you don't believe me." As he said this, he casually handed the box in front of Shimei. The splendid box was in front of Shimei, the golden light reflecting Shimei's gentle and beautiful eyes. "Shimei, you try it first." Emoran obviously wanted to pretend that nothing had happened, but his heart was in a mess, his palms sweating. This was a gamble on whether or not he would be able to obtain a new Jibaihua. He should be extremely cautious, but he also felt that he was already extremely cautious. He had already died once, how could he not know who the person he cared about the most was? He was not stupid. Shimei was slightly hesitant, but in the end he still took the long xiangxi from Emoran's hands. Emoran's heart was in his throat, but after staring at it for a long time, everything was normal, there was no movement. Shimei was carefully holding the box, carefully examining it. His fingertips stroked the yin-yang fish pattern, and then he said curiously, "There's actually no gap, the chain eyes can't see where it is." Why was there no reaction? Why did Shimei encounter the long xiangxi, but the long xiangxi did not move at all? Could it be a... Yes. It was a glove. Emoran glanced at the deerskin glove on Shimei's hands, his heart stirred, and he was about to let Shimei take it off and try again. Suddenly, without any warning, a hand with 5 slender fingers and well-proportioned bones reached out and took the long xiang flower in a smooth and steady manner. Emoran screamed as if he was struck by lightning, "Shizun!" Chu Wanning jumped in fright and almost dropped the box. However, this person's calmness had been ingrained deep into his bones, so no one could see his inner turmoil. Emoran wailed as if he had lost his mother, "Shizun!" Xuemeng felt goosebumps all over his body. "Yell, yell, yell. Didn't Shimei just take your box? What's wrong? You're screaming like someone stole your wife." Emoran almost fainted from anger, but he couldn't say it out loud. He could only cover his face and wail, "Oh my God! Chu Wanning! Why aren't you wearing gloves? You're so afraid of the cold. We all wear gloves in this world of ice and snow, why are you the only one?" Suddenly, Emoran was stunned. Yes. The exorcist crab apple that they wore needed to be coordinated with Chu Wanning's spiritual force, so Chu Wanning didn't buy himself a pair of cold-resistant gloves in the first place. He didn't wear gloves because he wanted to protect them. However, he didn't even look at him from the beginning to the end. Only when he was about to activate the long yearning did he suddenly realize that Chu Wanning, who was most afraid of the cold, had always been frozen. Ran really wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Zindeo was really unlucky to have missed out on Jinmu just like that. Just as he was feeling stifled in his chest, Chu Wanning's fingertips lightly touched the yin-yang fish, and the two fish made of metal seemed to come alive. They actually began to twist around the box nimbly. There was a slight pause. Two crisp sounds were heard as the yin and yang fishes intertwined with each other. In the end, they floated up and became two handles. Chu Wanning turned the handle again, and the longicorn broke into two halves, revealing the golden object inside. Ran was stunned. Jibaihua's words were still ringing in his ears. Only one person can open the long yearning. This person is extremely important in your life. You must love this person deeply, and this person must also be devoted to you and be loyal to you. This person is Chu Wanning? How could it be Chu Wanning? Impossible, absolutely impossible. How could he love Chu Wanning so deeply, and how could Chu Wanning like him? What a joke. This must be a mistake, the box must be wrong, the box must be broken. However, before this wave of astonishment had passed, when Chu Wanning picked up the Jinmu inside the long yearning, another even more shocking thing happened. This time, it wasn't just Ran who was shocked. The other three people, and even Chu Wanning, were also slightly moved. His eyes reflected the brilliance of the weapon, and a bunch of glowing thin willow vines illuminated everyone's faces. These two words stuck in Ran's throat for a long time before he spat them out with difficulty, his face full of disbelief. Tian Wen. End of the chapter. Stay tuned for more BL.